Schaefer from Chadron State College, and we're one of the 27 schools affiliated with NAMM, the International Music Products Association. I'm here in Austin, Texas at the 2007 Summer NAMM Show interviewing people in the music products industry. My purpose in this series of interviews is to highlight some of the exciting careers available to students in the music business. So I'm here with Danny Rocks from the company Rocks, which is such a great name.
I know.
That's just so terrific. So Danny, tell us about your company and what you're doing. And I know you worked for Alfred Publishing for many years.
23 years, yeah.
23 years. We can talk about that too. But tell us what you're doing with company Rocks.
Well, let's talk about the name because it is great. And I think you have to work with the material you're given. So I always like to joke to say it's not just a family name, but it's also an active verb.
That's right.
So the company does indeed rock. I do consulting, I do training. Right now I'm engaged to provide professional development services for NAMM. I help their Department of Professional Development to design the speakers, the program. Here at the show, I'll actually be a stage manager. I actually work with all the speakers as they come up. We have a new format. It's only 20 minutes that you speak. And as a speaker, that could be daunting or it could be the best thing you ever came across. And I think maybe as we develop today's talk, that's really going to be one of my strong messages, is developing your message. You only have a short time to develop it. It's got to be a compelling message. You have to know what you want. You have to know how to get it across and finish with a bang, just like any good musician. So I've been training and developing individuals. I work with a wide range of companies, both inside and outside the industry right now.
Oh, great.
It's been fantastic. I'm hired by a speakers bureau, a trainers bureau. They're sending me all over the country. I'm working with Fortune 500 companies. I'm working with small individual shops. And I'm working on a variety of skills. I've been in Hawaii working on project management. I'm working with a major car manufacturer next week on presentation skills. So it's fantastic. It's fantastic. But I have a strong connection to the music industry, and I'll never leave that. I'll never lose that. NAMM and a few other associations have actually engaged me next year to be on the educational circuit at the music education conferences, talking specifically about recruitment and retention. This will be for
music educators.
For music educators, specifically in instrumental music programs. And I'm looking forward to that. I'll be writing a couple of articles in the magazines before I do those talks. And we're trying also to get some of the dealers together to understand that in today's world, you know, our competition is the discretionary dollar. Yes. And we have to really understand how we have to have a unified message and be very clear about getting that across to the parents and school administrators. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. I've got a nice life right now. I'm on the road 2 or 3 days almost every week, variety of subjects, and I'm having a ball. Put me in front of an audience for 2 days a week, I'm happy.
Show business is my life.
Show business is my life, indeed.
That's what I like to say. Well, tell us about what you did with Alfred.
With Alfred, I worked in music print for 30 years, 23 of those with Alfred Publishing. And I started out as a sales rep. They hired me when they were a very, very small company. Literally, the catalog were 3 tear sheets. That's the size of the company.
Wow.
And they put me on the road because they had a major project that was coming up. It sounds kind of quaint now, but in those days, direct mail to the teachers was not really something that was done in our industry. And they had a really good direct mail campaign that was set up. They had really good, terrific product that was ready to burst. But they were such a small company, they weren't really known. And I just got in a car and I traveled and I visited as many dealers as I could in whatever area I possibly could every day, and trying to get them to just stock up on this new product. I explained the program that was behind it, and all I wanted to say is, let's show some confidence in it. Let's have that product out there so when the teachers get it and they come in here, they can see it and they can purchase it from you. And over the years, it was great because with a small company, you get a chance to do everything. And I can't tell you, Sandy, how well that prepared me for what I'm doing now, because I never turned down any challenge. There was something at hand to be done, and everybody just pitched in, and we got it done. So it was always a focus on the outcome. This had to be done. You learned the skill set as you came across. And it was great. The company grew. I had a chance to really expand my skills over the years. We got ready to expand internationally. I opened up offices for them in Australia, in Singapore, in England, in Germany, and that was nice. That was really good. I advanced up the line from sales rep to sales manager to director of sales to VP of sales. And then the last 6 years that I was with Alfred, I made a concentration on educational development. So I did a lot of work with school administrators. I did a lot of talks to teachers. And that really prepared me then for this next stage when I was really ready to make that next move in my life and in my career.
That's marvelous. So, tell me, when you were a sales rep, what was a typical day like? And this is kind of under the category of,
sure.
Did you enjoy what you were doing?
Oh, absolutely.
So what was a typical day life as a sales rep?
Sure. As a sales rep, obviously I would plan out a territory. And I would have my core dealers that I was going to contact. And, in those days, we used to send, as quaint as it is, we send out a postcard.
Sure.
And say, I'm going to be in the area and I plan to visit you. For some of the larger accounts, we would make a phone call and, set up a lunch date or set up the day. And usually I'd try to reach 3 dealers if that were at all possible. Sometimes, depending upon the schedule, the way it was set up, I'd be able to visit 4 or 5. And I think that was important, and it's something that we don't have as much today. We don't have that face-to-face communication. It's email, it's voice message, or it's text message. And face-to-face communication is the richest, the most vibrant, where there is give and take. And it was a chance to hone your skill, a chance to really see what was happening out there in the real world. What a store looked like, the challenges that they came across. And eventually I would figure it out. The best time, if you wanted some really quality time, was get there before the store opened. So I try to have my first meeting as a breakfast meeting, 7:30, 8 o'clock. And then we'd have that wrapped up by 10 o'clock when the store opened. I'd be off to then my next account, which maybe would segue into lunch. But I would at least try to get 3 accounts in every day. And they would all be very, very different. And I'd have an objective. A certain amount of sales that I wanted or something that I wanted to move forward, and then I would be on to the next town. I'm fortunate that I've traveled all my adult life. Before I got into this craziness, I spent 5 years as a Broadway pit musician and conductor.
Great. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I went to Temple University in Philadelphia. First off, I should say I got my union card when I was 12 years old on the accordion, on the squeeze box in Philadelphia. So I've been a performer all my life. And I had a great teacher at Temple University, Robert Page, who was in charge of choral programs. And he actually gave me my first theater experience there. I knew Cole Porter songs, I knew Kern, Gershwin, Rodgers and Hart, but I'd never actually seen a theatrical production. So I came over as a pit musician, a piano player, rehearsal piano player for Boys from Syracuse. And that really lit a fire in me, lit a spark. The next thing you know, 3 years and 4 months from that first time in college, I was the assistant conductor for Fiddler on the Roof with Zero Mostel. We toured for a year and a half before we came back to New York. And that's when I had made that decision that Broadway itself in the late 70s, the oil embargoes, things were changing. I didn't see myself as a 40-year-old hanging around begging for substitute work at a Wednesday matinee. So I saw I had to make a change. And I got into print. I had some people who I knew. Again, I think a key message I want to get across is networking. You just never know where an opportunity is going to come up. And I like to say, if you can make yourself valuable and visible, those are probably the keys to my success. I always tried to be helpful, always tried to pitch in, take a can-do attitude, get in there. I didn't care what it was, whether paid or not when I was younger. I care now a little bit, but just get out there. Let people see what you can do. And people will see that and they will push you on to that next level.